What's up? It's Ben from WODprep here with a special guest, Coach CJ DePalma. He is here at WODprep Studios because we just qualified a whole bunch of people for the CrossFit Games in the Masters Division, and we are super stoked about that. This video is all about helping you learn how to handstand walk. We have a lot of videos on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook about getting your first steps with the handstand walk. This video is all about getting more. So we're calling this an advanced handstand walk tutorial. So when it comes to handstand walks, a lot of people overemphasize the gymnastics handstand walk. The gymnastics handstand walk is a handstand walk that's perfectly vertical, 100% seamless and efficient. Oftentimes when you see pure gymnasts doing kipping pull-ups and things like that, like their body positioning is just absolutely perfect. And that's great, and that, if you can do it, is perfectly fine. But for the sport of CrossFit, let's talk to my head coach here. What do you think about that for the sport of CrossFit?
Yeah, we can look at the CrossFit Games, and it's never the best idea to emulate exactly what they do or assume that we're going to do what they do. But it's a good general reference, and we have two types of people that are at the CrossFit. We have those pure gymnasts that are straight up and down, usually some female athletes, and then we have the athletes with the bent knee or maybe arch in the torso, and they're both moving really fast.
Yeah, and they're both winning handstand walks.
Right, and they're successful. So yes, it's ideal to maybe be perfectly up and down, but those athletes that are there have been doing this their whole lives, from youth to now. And so it's very difficult to try and recreate that later in life in the shorter amount of time, right? So this video, our goal is to focus on moving forward, not so much focusing on the perfect body position, but how to use what we have to actually propel ourselves forward.
So we just want to make sure that that is clear. Don't worry about looking perfect. Just like you're not going to be expected to lift like the highest level Chinese weightlifters when you're doing your clean and jerks, right? In our sport, and for the purposes of this video, we are just trying to teach you how to handstand walk farther. So there's a little bit of bendiness, a little bit of leg kicking. That is fine and acceptable for the sake of helping you walk further and more effectively and more efficiently so that eventually you can do them in WODs and in competition. So with that, let's get started with our first and one of our favorite drills for handstand walks. All right, so the first drill that we want you to work on, especially as you're expanding that handstand walk potential, is learn how to fail. So this is actually really common when we're teaching people how to lift weights with, let's say, snatches, clean and jerks, back squats, front squats. We want people to understand how to fail properly. If you understand your point of failure and know how to do it gracefully so that you don't get injured, you will be much more successful in the long run. So a lot of people, when they're trying to learn how to handstand walk, let's show a couple short, where you don't get past the point of no return. Ideally, what we want is we want him to kick up and pass the point of balance and then pull him. We want gravity pulling him forward. But when you're too afraid to fail, a lot of times you'll do exactly what he just did. He'll kick up halfway, and for a lot of people, that's what their handstand walk looks like, right? And it's not a handstand walk. So what we want you to do is practice, what did you call it, a pirouette?
It's a half pirouette.
A half pirouette. Don't ask me to spell it. All right, so here's what it's going to do. He's going to kick up, do a couple steps, and then he's going to get out of it. Nice, and he almost kicked me in the face. I was standing in the perfect position. So what he's trying to do is he's kicking up, walking a couple steps, and then under control, he's getting out of his handstand walk without splatting on the ground face first, without crumbling like a heap of potatoes or a Jenga, if you will. So let's show a couple more, and then you can talk about it a little bit, because I know you like teaching this. So it kicks up, a couple steps, and then like a half-turn dismount.
Yeah, so the main point of performance is that we want to be comfortable gaining some momentum moving forward. And it's probably the biggest limiter for anyone, for me. Not a lot of people know this. It took me 5 years to learn how to handstand walk. I was terrible. And I'm not very good still, but we teach it a lot. And the main fail or fault we see is people not getting comfortable once their center of gravity goes to the other side. Yeah. And so learning to fail is key. And instead of teaching people to roll out, I think there's a lot of risks there, so we don't teach that. It happens, but we don't teach it. And so we teach the turnout, right, or this half pirouette. And so what that does is that gives us the opportunity to feel what it feels like to actually get forward, and then how to move your hands to safely get back to your feet. And you might fall to your knees, that's okay. The whole goal is to get turned, because when you come all the way over, then you land on your back, and we don't want that.
Right. So let's watch it one more time. He'll demo it. Basically, all we're trying to do is get momentum, get some steps forward, and then we're practicing failure. We're practicing getting out of it in a safe and controlled way so that you, as someone who's practicing handstand walks, can get comfortable with that point of no return where we're actually allowing our balance to tip forward and pull us forward.
And one more piece, if you aren't comfortable moving your hands yet, it's fine to do this drill and not take any steps forward. So if you just kick up, the whole point is to be comfortable having a small turn in the air and letting your feet come down to the side.
So let's show two. Show one where you just kick up without any walks and do the turn.
And so it's just there, it's almost like a cartwheel, a little bit like a cartwheel, but again, my momentum would have kept going had I not turned right away. Okay, and then the next one is a few steps. All right, and so a few steps, my momentum is pulling me forward, and that's the key to just get going. And it helps you start to move your hands first, because that's another one. People get kind of frozen, and nothing happens.
This allows you to actually start moving your hands, and then once you feel it maybe getting away from you, you're practicing that dismount rather than surprising yourself by falling flat on your back. So that is drill number 1, learning how to fail, or the half pirouette. All right, let's move on to drill number 2. Drill number 2 is walking into the wall. So we love teaching handstand walks, and a common drill, if you watch my other videos on YouTube, we talk about wall walkaways. But one of our favorite drills as of late, especially for those who are working on their first few steps of handstand walks, maybe you have like 1 or 2, but you're trying to expand that out to 5, maybe 10 feet. One of our favorite drills is the walking into the wall. So it's as simple as it sounds. Once you've kind of graduated from getting a few steps and then being able to fail out of it, what we do is we start walking into a wall that protects us from flipping over. So here's what it looks like. Coach CJ is going to demonstrate, and he's going to start purposefully close to the wall. Here's what he's doing. He's just kicking up, 1 or 2 steps into the wall and relax. And then as he gets comfortable with that, and he can nail that no problem, he's going to take a few steps back, again, kick up, and then get to the wall where he's in a stable place. And then eventually he can start expanding to grow his distance away from the wall. So the reason we have that wall there is because it allows us to have, we know that we have something there to catch us.
So being comfortable moving your hands and actually feeling your body, and your feet start to come forward and start to pull you forward. So we start close, hit the wall early, okay, you find some balance, take a second, come down, take a half step back, and then just continue on, and it just continues to lay in that mental foundation of being comfortable with your feet on the other side of that center of gravity.
Yep. So start close to the wall, get a lot of reps in, and then start working your way farther and farther from the wall. And then eventually, how far would you say before it's like, hey, we don't need to do this drill anymore?
Maybe 5 or 6 hand steps.
Okay.
So not an actual distance, but just how many times you're moving your hand. At that point, usually you're relatively balanced. If you're very unbalanced for 5 or 6 steps, then you might want to continue it out a little bit more, but I'd say somewhere around that. So maybe just over 5 feet, 8 feet, something like that.
So once you can do 5 or 6 steps or 8, 10 feet, something like that consistently, then it's time to move on to drill number 3. Let's move on to the final drill of this video. And what you're going to need is a PVC pipe or some sort of broomstick, or you can just go out and find a really thin log somewhere in the woods. All we're doing is the spotter handstand walk. This is one of my personal favorites because it's helped me learn how to do handstand walks for very long distances, and then it's also helped me teach a few of my athletes as well. So here's all it is. CJ, let's demonstrate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my PVC pipe. I will stand in front of CJ. I'm bracing with both hands like this, kind of like I'm doing a bench press. And then from here, with arms extended, CJ is going to kick up into his handstand walk. So he kicks up. And then I'm just going to slowly but surely work my way back. And what's great is that I'm acting like the wall. I'm just moving. So as I scoot back, he needs to keep walking his hands. What's great about this drill is that you can do it for kind of as long as you want to. So if someone's trying to practice how to get maybe you need to learn a 25-foot unbroken handstand and you just can't do it, the best way to spend that much time under tension and being upside down for 25 whole feet is just having a spotter there. So CJ knows that when he kicks up, he's not going to flip forward because I'm not going to let him because I'm there spotting him, but he's also not going to have a ton of support. So you need to stay balanced. You need to keep your core tight. You need to keep your glutes engaged, all that good stuff. Anything else that you felt when you were doing this? This is like one of CJ's first times actually trying this particular drill.
Yeah, I think it really lays in continuous to the notion of moving, feeling your weight forward.
Yep.
And that's really important. I kicked up and I wasn't sure where it was going to be, and so I came right back down because I was nervous about kicking up too far. So that's the other, I think, the caveat to the drill is you need to be comfortable kicking up and having maybe a little bit of balance because you don't want to kick up like you're kicking into the wall.
Right.
That probably wouldn't be ideal.
So, yeah, if you kick up too hard into me, that could be, you want someone who has that understanding of balance, and then your job as a spotter, if you're in my shoes and you're the one spotting, is I just want to be right on the other side of that balance point.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, let's show it one more time. So again, notice I'm not right in front of him, okay? I'm also not too far away. This could probably be a more common problem, is if I'm too far away, just try it, just kick up and then walk, right? If I'm too far away, right, he doesn't feel supported there, and I'm like way far past his balance point. So I don't know, you kind of have to eyeball it, but I'm kind of like 5 feet. It all depends on how someone kicks up, but I'm about 5 feet away from him, 1.5 meters. And let's show it one more time. So I'm braced, my arms are extended, he kicks up, I make contact, and then my job is to just start backing up, and relax. I like to have the PVC pipe somewhere around the center of their calf muscle. That tends to be a good spot for it. And then what's great is that as a coach, if you're the one holding the PVC pipe, I can see him, I can coach him, I can tell him what he needs to tighten up, I can tell him to keep his feet together, I can do all kinds of things. If I was prescribing this, like in our Handstand Walk course, we actually have a full-blown 8-week Handstand Walk course called Handstand Walk Hero. That's extremely effective to help people learn how to do handstand walks. If I was writing programming for this particular spotter handstand walk, what I would do is I'd approach it progressively. So we'd start with maybe a spotter handstand for 10 feet and do a few sets of 10 foot and then allow the person to drop. And then eventually we're just going to expand that until hopefully at some point I can spot CJ and he doesn't even need to touch the PVC. Because there have been times like where an advanced athlete who's like right on the edge of doing completely unbroken and unassisted handstand walks, they'll kick up and they'll touch the PVC pipe once in the beginning, and then as I back up, I leave enough room and separation where they're not even touching it. They just know I'm there in case they fall too far, but otherwise I'm just scooting back and they're doing handstand walks. So it's really important as the person doing the holding of the PVC pipe or the person doing the spotting, make sure you're not moving at a pace that's too fast. I guess let's show that. I'll use you as a guinea pig. Yeah, I'm gonna show too fast. So like as CJ kicks up, what I don't wanna do is be here and then be like, all right, come on, right? And I also don't wanna push him, like right there, I actually kind of pushed him back. So we wanna absorb his kick up, and then if I move away too fast or if I stop like I just did, you're gonna cause them to fall. So again, a good rep looks like this. This time I'll actually move back at a good pace. So he's kicking up and then I'm just slowly walking back so that he's able to keep a good steady pace. So try it for yourself. Let us know in the comments which one of these 3 drills do you want to try. So again, we talked about learning how to fail with the half pirouette. We also talked about walking into the wall and slowly but surely expanding how far you can walk into the wall. And then the last thing we did was talk about the spotter handstand walk. Which drill are you going to try? And leave a few comments below, or leave a comment below and let us know how it goes. Or if you have any questions or have any follow-up to this video, both Coach CJ and I will be looking in the comments. Last but not least, if you want a completely free handstand walk training guide, then click the link in the comments below or go to WODprep.com/HSW. We have a free handstand walk guide, or if you're someone who's really serious about learning handstand walks, we have a full-blown 8-week course that I already mentioned called Handstand Walk Hero, and we 100% guarantee it will teach you handstand walks in 8 weeks or less, or your money back. It's a pretty good deal. So click the links below. I have a few other resources that I'm not gonna belabor here at the end of this video. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.